Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another wonderful, lovely February video about my favorite subject, metal! I'm going to be talking about the best format for metal, and of course, what I mean by that is music distribution format. If there is a best format for the music. We're going to talk about each of the types a little bit, its merits and all that. It's specifically, I don't know if this stuff is specific to metal or not. I think it's kind of maybe generalized, but hey, you know, I figured I'd show off four different formats for the same album because I'm a nut. The first album I'm going to show off is essentially probably the most common format by far that people are going to consume this music by, right? I don't even think it's going to be close. So the first format I'm going to show off, of course, is just focus camera. It's not really picking up my smartphone screen very well. I can tell in the video. It's Megadeth Rust in Peace. That's the album we're going to be talking about. This is the album just loaded onto my smartphone. Obviously, it's just a digital rip of the album. Yeah, it's not working well with this camera. Anyway, if you could see this, it's a... you can see the album cover. Here, let me just turn that down a little bit. Don't want to get a copyright strike, right? So, that doesn't work any better when it's in player view. But, as you can see, the album cover is a decent size on the screen, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, the audio quality is going to be identical to that of the CD. So, we've got all the fidelity there, yada, yada, yada. Very nice distribution format. And, of course, it's incredibly convenient. Works everywhere with everything. So there you go. That is, and you don't have a physical thing taking up space. But of course, if you're here on this channel, you like physical things taking up space that are related to music. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. So, let's talk about the first physical format that I ever collected anyway. And, of course, that is the humble cassette, right? Audio cassette. Now, ironically, let's pull my screen back up here. We're gonna try to do a comparison of album art. Which one's bigger? It's about the same size on my smartphone screen and the cassette. It's maybe a little bit bigger on the cassette, but not by a wide margin, because smartphones are so huge nowadays. The artwork can be really big, right? So yeah, there's not much size difference there. But you know, let's get a look at the actual stuff that it comes with. Obviously, we have the actual cassette. Hooray! We all know what a cassette looks like. And of course, we also have the lovely J card here, which has obviously different elements. We got pictures of each of the individual band members. We got a group shot of the band. We've got, of course, the album cover in the stretched to be, or cropped, I guess, as it were, so it all fits on a rectangle instead of a square. And, of course, on the other side, we've got all the lyrics, and we've got the nuclear radiation symbol. For, you know, since this is Rust in Peace, right? So, essentially, what are the advantages of cassettes as opposed to other formats? Well, I don't know if it really has anything over the other formats at all. The artwork is not the best out of the formats because, of course, I'm going to show the artwork on the other formats as well. It's definitely not practical, not remotely, unless you have a 90 something or older car. You're not going to be listening to cassettes in the car. So yeah, it's just not a practical format nowadays, and of course, for me personally, I only have one cassette player in my entire life, and that's the one I've hooked up to my stereo. Other than that, I don't do cassettes anymore, and I don't see them ever like taking back off on a massive scale. But that being said, they can still sound quite good, and they are a lot of fun, especially if you grew up with them. For me, it's pure nostalgia at this point for cassettes. They don't really have any practical use whatsoever, but they are fun and a reminder of my long, long, long ago youth at this point. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about cassettes. There you go. So, let's move on to another format that a lot of us collect. And that, of course, is the venerable CD, right? Obviously, in my view, this is typically going to be the best sounding format of the three. Of course, there can be debate on that. At least for this album, this is out of the three formats, this is the best sounding one. This sounds better than my cassette copy or my vinyl, which I'll be showing next. So audio quality is the best on this one, as well as of the physical formats. Of course, it has the most practicality. If you really want, you can listen to it in your car. Typically, most cars still have CD players. I know a lot of new ones are starting to forego those, but a lot of new ones still have them. My wife has a 2018, which I know is not brand new, but it still has a CD player in it. And of course, the fact that it's digital and you can copy it to your computer and then listen to the files on any device whatsoever, upload it to the cloud, the whole 9 yards, still makes, of the physical formats, the CD is quote-unquote the most practical. And we'll go ahead and we'll also take a look at the artwork in comparison to the cassette. And, what's cool is on the actual CD, we get the cool radiation symbol, right? On the back, we got that same group photo that was in the cassette, right? And we have it's not a card, but it's a booklet. Hey, look, we have uninterrupted front and back artwork there. Then we just look through the booklet. We have those 4 individual band photos. They're just on different pages now. So we got that. There's that group photo again. That's also, the full thing. I guess on there it's just the heads on the back. Hey, look, Nick Menza's face. And then we've got, of course, that radiation symbol again. And that's pretty much it for the cassette. So, again, I don't know, for me, as far as a physical collectible thing, it's cool. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, last off, that, of course, leaves the biggest format, vinyl, right? And this thing is obviously huge because it's a vinyl record. And, yeah, I have to say that the album cover, I mean, the print quality of this is stunning. It looks absolutely great, in my opinion. Looks fantastic. I mean, it's just the light reflects off it because it's nice and glossy, and it looks awesome. Very cool to look at, right? When we look at the back, of course, we got those individual band faces again. Exciting stuff. I'll just take out an inner sleeve here. And essentially, then we got that group photo again. And then on the back, we have the lyrics and that radiation symbol. And that is pretty much that. That's the highlight. And of course, I have the record in a different sleeve in the... I don't know why this came... I think this thing came with 2 sleeves. I don't know why. But anyway, there's the actual record itself. But there's no special artwork on the record. It's just a standard black vinyl. So, as far as this goes, what does this have over the other formats? Well, I mean, it sounds better than the cassette, but worse than the CD. Yes, you can copy it to a computer, but that's quite a process. Not nearly as easy as ripping a CD, but what it has over the other one, obviously, is just the size of the artwork. I mean, the next biggest one is the CD. And I've talked about this in other videos, right? Not even close. But, again, we do this hobby for fun, right? So, this is a lot of fun to listen to. It's a lot of fun to handle, look at, peruse, whatever. I enjoy it. So, it's definitely worth having. So, is there one of these that's, quote, I guess I gotta include digital, too, right? Is there one of these that's universally the best? Well, I can say we can definitely say it's not the cassette version. Sorry, cassette. As fun as you are, you're the worst version. If we're going by pure practicality, obviously the digital version is best. It's the most practical. But if we're talking about something where we're going with collectability and fun, you know, this is probably the most fun thing. This is the most fun format, vinyl, I guess. So there you go. If we're winning out on fun alone, it's this. But if we're talking about sound quality and practicality, it's CD. So, as far as what is the best to you, that's going to be subjective because it's going to depend on, you know, what you value more than the other things. As for me, as I've said this a million times, and you guys are well aware, CD is my favorite format. But I do see the value in the other ones. As far as, does any of this relate specifically to metal music? I'd say probably not. This, you know, I just had to tie it into metal somehow since this is the metal month. And Rusted Pieces, well, as you guys know, because I've already released my top 50 metal albums of all time, it's, I think it was number 2 on the list. Yeah, my second favorite album ever. So, yeah, I thought it'd be a good tie-in. You know, obviously, let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with these thoughts. If you think one medium sonically favors metal over another, because I think sonically it doesn't. It's going to be down to the individual release. Because another release that I have on multiple formats, Black Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, which is a metal record, which was also in my top 50 metal albums of all time. You know, the vinyl version of that sounds the best, but that's due to it being a different mastering. So I think as far as sonically, which one's going to be better, it's going to depend strictly on the individual release, and your mileage will definitely vary just depending. So sonically, I can't say one format is more suitable than the other. And even for collectability purposes, I can't really say which one is better because, again, it's going to be up to you to pick your favorite. So anyway, that, of course, is it. You guys know what to do. Thanks so much for watching. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking.